Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work.
You are in the world? Is that what I meant to say? We are spicing things up tonight. Stephen is feeling guilty with the treadmill connection issues, so instead of using Apple TV, we are connecting the Noble Pro to my iPhone, but because Stephen's eyesight's better than mine, he's on the Noble Pro. What speed are we going at? 9?
Hello, everybody. Right, hello, Tina. Hello, Ravi. Oh, no, that's a spam message. Mark Mansueto, Clive Finnemore. Hello, good evening to all of you guys. Steve Smith says, hello, everyone. Off to my boys' football, getting a cheeky run-in. Beats sitting idle in the car for an hour. So, we've got Victoria on the My Run we've got me on the Noble Pro. My legs are really hurting from yesterday's run, so I'm going to try going at 9 kilometres an hour, but you never know, I might totally fail. So, hello camera 2. No, Victoria's suggesting starting at 8.5, but no, we'll stay at 9 for the time being. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, got what I wanted, so that was good. Oh dear, but my legs aren't half hurting. I don't know how Clive Finnimore managed to run on the Monday after he'd run his 100 miles on the Saturday. My legs are absolutely shot from yesterday, but we'll keep going. Hello. Feels weird looking at myself on the streaming software rather than the main running. I bet you're having a whale of a time over there, aren't you, Victoria?
I've got a screen in front of me. I can see my avatar. I can see everything. I can see the other runners. It's a whole new world. And I can see welcome back to Bob de Boers as well, after his exciting adventure. Will B says congratulations to Stephen on his race yesterday. Amy says well done. You did well. Marcus says Victoria is loving this. I am. It's so exciting having a screen and a microphone. All I need now is a van. No, I am. Apparently it's short-lived, all of this.
Yeah, we'll be van next.
Yeah. Tomorrow I won't have a screen, no doubt, for the intervals. No, or a van. I had strict instructions tonight, though, that if I were to run on the My Run, I would be responsible for buttons. Which button am I meant to press? Oh, it's all gone off. Jeez,
right on.
Yeah, there you go.
When he told me that it came with responsibility for the buttons, he said it with such a stern voice, as if I've not been responsible in the past. Three seconds, 4 seconds behind me. Stephen is trying to find his mute button to shut me up. Adrian Matsayers is saying big improvement on the commentary. Thank you, Adrian. Kevin DeLuca is asking any subject to talk about, guys. Marcus has been enjoying the curling. Yeah, me too. I was trying to teach our daughter about curling yesterday when it was on TV. It's strangely fascinating, and I'm not sure why. It's Kevin DeLuca saying very smart sport, the curling. Stefan Gross is saying housekeeping on ice. Indeed. No, not hair curling, cousins. You don't know what to do with a broom, so you probably don't know anything about curling. Tina's saying, stop whining, cousins.
Who said that?
Tina. I'm not sure what went on with the rugby at the weekend, but it seems like there must be a result that doesn't want to be spoken about. Or did France win? Because Evan was wanting to talk about rugby. We are watching chat. We've got Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. If anyone's got any questions, Stephen can see all the chats tonight. Is your avatar still moving, Stephen? Kevin doesn't remember the rugby score and would like someone to remind him. Well, Marcus is asking how the mud was yesterday. Apparently only 60 minutes to go.
The mud wasn't too bad. Nowhere near as bad as... Hi Marcus. So the mud yesterday wasn't anywhere near as bad as it quite often is on that run. I've done the run twice before that event, and both times before the mud has been horrendous and really slippy. Whereas this year, although it was claggy and sticky, it wasn't slippy. It wasn't really slippy. There were just a couple of sections where it was quite slippy, but mostly it was fine. So, yeah, we did have heavy rain at the beginning, and it was very windy all the way. But it was I would say it was still much better conditions than usual for that race, which is why I thought I'd go out and try and run a bit harder than, run it a bit hard, and try and get a good time. Yeah, and came in pretty much exactly where I planned, really, just under 4 hours. So pleased with that. Paul Hayward says, how did Dan Mapp get on yesterday? I don't actually know what Dan Mapp was doing yesterday. What was Dan Mapp doing yesterday? Oh no! Hang on a minute. I forgot to save this the other day. Oh, it's gone now, but let me just do it again for... One of my camera angles is not set up properly. Six Nations, Super Bowl and Valentine's. What a treat, says Amanda. Right, I can't find the thing I need to change. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Marcus, the Super Bowl hasn't really taken off. They tried, like in the late 80s and the early 90s. They really tried to push Super Bowl and American football in the UK, and we had an American football league. I mean, we might still do, to be honest. And they tried to make it a thing, and it hasn't really taken off. But they still show the Super Bowl. There are still weekly kind of roundups of American football in the UK, but it's certainly not a big sport in the UK. No, I think Channel 4 cover it or something. One of the main networks does cover it. You don't have to have some obscure cable channel or anything to get it. I think it is on one of the main channels. It's not massively popular, it has to be said. But there is interest when the Super Bowl happens. You know, people do watch the Super Bowl. That obviously is the biggest American football event in the UK. Paul Hayward. Right, no, a different Dan. So Paul Hayward saying, how did Dan Matt get on yesterday? So in my race, no, it was a different guy called Dan. A guy called Dan Lawson, who's a friend of ours, who's a local runner, but he's also very good. He is the holder of the Le Jog record. So he's the fastest person to run from Land's End to John O'Groats. And he's also been in the Team GB Ultra team. He's run Spartathlon. He's a very quick runner. So he was at the race, and a lovely bloke. And he was at the race yesterday. He wasn't feeling very well though, so he pulled out after about 7 kilometres. So quite early in the race, he realised it wasn't happening, and he pulled out early. Yeah, but it wasn't Dan Matt. Yeah, if you've ever heard of a company called Rerun, who do recycle running clothing, he runs that. And if any of you were at the he runs it. If any of you were at the National Running Show a couple of weekends ago, he and his wife were there. They had a stand there, so you might have seen Rerun clothing there. Joseph says, I'm just about to run this morning. I run for 60 minutes. I'm 74 years old and I can run over 5 miles. My goal this year is to break the world record for the marathon in my age group of 3 hours and 4 minutes. Wow. Amazing. That would be awesome if you could do that, Joseph. Good luck with it. Good luck. Amy says, it's nice when a plan works out. Yeah, I think you're referring to my race yesterday. Yes, I mean, I just set out to see how it would go. If I felt really tired and the legs weren't working, obviously I'd have just slowed down and made it a little training run. But as it was, the legs held out just about and came in on goal pace, so that was good. Victoria's just said, could I have gone faster? Yes, I could have gone faster, I think, but not much faster. So I think once I got to about 13 or 14 kilometres to go, I knew that I was probably going to be all right. And I was working out what's the slowest pace I can go to get in under 4 hours. And so I slowed down to pretty much that pace. Maybe not quite that, but I mean, I left a little bit in reserve in terms of time. But yeah, so I did kind of ease off a bit in the last 10k, let's say. So it's 45k in total. So once I got to about 22, 23 miles, yeah, I just kind of eased off a bit and made sure that I got in under 4. If I'd absolutely pushed it as hard as I could, maybe 3:55, 3:53, something like that, I could have probably got in.
To put it into perspective, Stephen's marathon, ish, was 45 kilometres yesterday. Partial trail, mud, rain, wind, and he finished in practically the same time as my marathon PB in Paris, on the flat, good weather conditions, and I gave it everything and was completely exhausted at the end. It's all relative, but it puts it into perspective how well your training is going at the moment.
Joseph, our 74-year-old runner, says he's run 7 marathons and finished 7 marathons. Nice job. Great work, Joseph. Keep it up. Stephen Smith says good evening to us all. Hello, Steve. How are you? Hope you're well. We are comfortably doing the Monday combined community run. So all the running clubs, all the main running clubs on Zwift, MHG, FMR, ZLDR and PACK, we all get together on a Monday and we run 10k together. Jeff Barcher says don't big him up too much. You won't get his head out of the shed door. I don't know, Jeff, it's quite a big shed door, to be honest. And Amy says, Victoria, under 4 hours for a road marathon is amazing. Yeah, you should be rightly proud of that, Victoria. When? Hang on.
Bob de Boers is asking if anyone knows if Sir Lewis Hamilton will be driving this season. I don't know. I know he's been quiet all winter after the contentious final. I saw something on the news that he's spoken up, but I don't.
These two.
Marcus is asking where all the Maltesers have gone. So we have that lot. But today I bought a massive box of Maltesers because we need to test out this theory of freezing Maltesers. No, don't touch. At 2.6 kilometres done. It's getting hot in this shed. You should have opened the door more. So interestingly, we are 2.6 kilometres in and Stephen's avatar is still moving. So we've not lost connection from the iPhone on the Noble Pro, which suggests that there is something up with our Apple TV connection. Yeah. Just the combination of the two, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, Stephen, you did mention your legs are hurting, and we're bored of hearing it. Tina Beard says, Stephen, I won't tell you again. Erin DeLuca says, Stephen is in crying mode today, I think. Zach Clive saying 47 minutes to go of pain, Stephen. No pain, no gain.
Joseph says, I lived in England for 4 years from the 1970s, 70 to 74. I still love hearing your voice, makes me think I'm still there. Loved it in England. Thank you, Joseph. Well, funnily enough, the only time I've not lived in England was from 1970 to 74, so it wasn't you, I promise it wasn't you, but in 1970 I was living in Africa till 74 when we came home, so yeah, when you were in England, I wasn't in England. Jeff Partridge says, cousins, if you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. Marcus says, what did I have to eat afterwards? I can't remember. What did I have to eat? Oh yeah, I had spicy soup after the race. At the finish line, they had two options of soup. There was carrot and coriander, and there was spicy sweet potato soup. So I had that, and it was very nice. And then I came home and I had a Quorn roast. So roast dinner. So roast potatoes, carrots, Brussels sprouts, stuffing, gravy, and instead of chicken or any other meat, we had Quorn. So that was very nice. I'm sure most people have heard of Quorn, haven't they, these days? If you haven't heard of Quorn, do ask and Victoria will tell you exactly what it is. Sounds like Bob is off. Bob de Boer is gone. He says, enough for me, feels great but need to build up slowly. No worries, Bob, take care. Perrier water, very. I did have a bottle of fizzy water afterwards, yes. Chilled fizzy water. Was it Dom Perignon? No, probably not. Right, I can't mention how my legs are hurting again because I'll get severely told off from Tina. Yeah. I don't know what I'm zone 1. I'm 115 beats per minute at the moment, so that's all right, isn't it? Nice and relaxed. It's cardiovascularly wise, I'm fine, but legs, yeah, legs are sore. A nut and cranberry nut roast as my meat alternative. Sounds good. We've really got into Quorn though. There's certain Quorn recipes or makes that we really like. Yeah, we had a mushroom and Quorn stroganoff today, which was very nice. But The other day we tried, was it a Quorn roast? Not a Quorn, oh, it wasn't Quorn. We had a kind of beef, a steak alternative, and it was horrible. So we won't be trying that again, but apparently it wasn't Quorn, says Victoria. It was a different non-meat variation. So is there soya meat alternative stuff then? Oh. I'm confused. I thought you just said Quorn was soya. Yeah, you.
So in the UK, a lot of people have soya products as a meat alternative, but because I've got an underactive thyroid, I'm meant to stay clear of soya because it affects my medication. So Quorn is a perfect alternative and it tastes nice. But we're also seeing loads of pea protein products. And that's nice too. Always a fan of adding peas to anything. I Finnemore likes Quorn mince in bolognese and chili. Yep, we do too. Yes, yeah, so Tina is the same as me. She's got an underactive thyroid, so can't have soya. Well, Hayward says tofu is nice, but tofu is made from soya bean, isn't it, Curd? So I can't have that, I believe.
So if I wanted to knock you off, if I like secretly gave you soya, would I get away with murder? Would that work? Oh, better look into that. I'm joking.
I'm not sure he is joking. No, Stephen, you are still 3 seconds behind me. 4 kilometres done, 6 to go. Bye, Amanda.
Hello, Orb. So, Orb, if you haven't seen us before, you may not be used to our sense of humour. I have to just stress, I am joking about potentially murdering my wife. It's not going to happen. You know, well, not for a while anyway. You know, I'd say at least another 15 or 20 years. We're perfectly happy. Oh, right, hang on a minute. Victoria says, well, you might be. No, there's no plotting here to get rid of, well, on my part anyway.
Yeah, there's no one to pay the bills or do the cooking and cleaning. If you pop me off. Yeah, exactly. Jeff Partridge says until Victoria has cooked the dinner at least.
You know how sometimes, like, once you've said something, you can't take it back? That's it, it's out there, isn't it?
Stephen isn't really the same guy. Was that when his legs are something? I missed it.
Oh, it says. Marcus, Stephen just thinking out loud. Paul Haywood says, has the marriage run its course? I think that's supposed to be a running joke. Well done, Paul. Ka-ching, says Orb. Kev says, Stephen isn't the same guy when his legs are hurting. No, that's true. You see, I'm in a world of pain. You know, the stuff that's coming out of my mouth is coloured by the pain that I'm feeling from the immense effort I put in yesterday into my race. So I can be forgiven. You know how when people climb Everest and they kind of go into the death zone over 8,000 metres and they lose all cognitive function and they start talking gibberish? See, that's the same as happened with me. Tina's off, is she? Thank you, Tina. See you soon.
Well, talking about Everest, so you are on the Noble Pro, which is slightly higher than the My Run. So maybe the lack of oxygen at that altitude is affecting you. Ivor's putting Tina back in the cupboard.
It looks like we're heading into the village now. So coming up to we're at 4.5k. So we'll start mixing with runners ahead of us and runners behind us when we go through the villages. So far, all the technology seems to be working okay. I'm using Victoria's iPhone, so I'm running Zwift on the iPhone. The screen in front of me is the chat screen and the live stream software. The screen in front of Victoria is a full Zwift screen. So Victoria's got an actual screen today, and she's running on the My Run treadmill. I'm on the Noble Pro. Victoria is connected to the PC, which is rock solid, and I'm using the iPhone, which does appear to be rock solid at the moment, much better than the Apple TV has been the last few times. John Farrell is just doing 5k today, so he says goodbye. See you later, John. Take care. Hashtag microphone for at least one of us. No, microphone for two of us. Shed Quarters family show, so Clive Finnemore says he's enjoying the tennis with the microphone. Yeah, we've got this microphone on a kind of boom arm, and we can just swing it between one or the other of us, look.
Hello!
But ideally, we would have our own microphones. Paul Haywood says there's no tech issues with Victoria in charge. Good point. Steve Milne is stopping at 5k as well. Right, Steve. No worries. We'll see you tomorrow for the Film My Run 500, hopefully. If you're interested, come and join me. 11:35 tomorrow morning UK time, 12:35 in the afternoon, early afternoon, Central European time. Early in the morning, about 6:30 or something for those of you on the west coast of the east coast of the USA. And we'll put the treadmill up to 12% incline, and we'll climb 500 metres of elevation in about 44 minutes. So that's tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to the University of Brighton to do some VO2, not VO2 max, we're doing threshold testing tomorrow. So I'll take the camera with me. I'm going to be wearing a mask and breathing oxygen into a machine. And but it's not a VO2 max session tomorrow, thankfully, because I wouldn't be able to do that. It's just a threshold test tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to manage that. My legs might have healed up a bit by tomorrow. Hang on.
And then tomorrow evening should be interesting. Paris Marathon intervals. Let's see how Mr. Cousins fares with that, shall we? Jeff said, was that threshold testing with whining legs?
Well, thankfully, the person doing the testing is my son. My eldest son is doing a master's degree at Brighton Uni in sports physiology. And the reason I'm doing it is because he's invited me along to do some of his testing. So I'm quite happy to whine as much as I want in front of him.
I was offended why Stephen was asked and not me. But I was told that they needed an old man to do the testing on. I don't qualify as that.
Unbelievably rude. Right, hang on a minute. So yeah, Marcus is saying, will Stephen be doing the interval training tomorrow? It's a good point. We will be live streaming. We will be on. And Victoria will be running. Tina Beard says tomorrow night should be very interesting. I am as yet undecided because if I've got to film my Run 500 in the morning, I've got threshold testing at Brighton University in the afternoon. I think it might be a little step too far to then do the interval training in the evening, but we'll see. Maybe I could do it at a reduced pace. I'm going to press mix 2. Yeah, maybe I could do it at a reduced speed or something. We'll see how I feel. It would be foolish to get injured. Yeah, I could just commentate while you do it. And Victoria can have a screen for the intervals. How about that? Clive says you don't want to do anything faster after a long run. Something might snap. Well, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Marcus is quite right here. He says, "Old man, Stephen's only 35." Thank you, Marcus. The voice of reason and truth will out. Right, but however, now Amy says you should at least do it. Amy. Now, don't make me feel guilty. I've got to look after my health. I could be horribly injured tomorrow night if I do the interval session at full pelt. I mean, I haven't ruled out doing it at 90% or something slow. Amy, I will be cheering you on. We will definitely live stream it. Victoria will do it, and I will stand here motivating you all. So don't worry about that. I will definitely be on tomorrow night. Unless the threshold training takes like 5 hours and then I won't be back in time. I think it's the long one that lasts like an hour tomorrow. No, the really, really hideous one was the week after. Yeah. Yeah, Clive says it's a long interval session. It's an hour's worth of session. Clive says, what's wrong with my voice to text tonight? Have you been drinking, Clive? Are you slurring your words? Is that the problem? Press one of the ride-on buttons.
Ride on!
Thank you, Marcus, for the ride-on. And press mix 2 as well. I'm going to have to do something about this, actually, because too often I'm getting doubled up people, aren't I? So I'm going to have another look at these cameras. I was hoping it would be, like, less work. But actually, it seems to be more work because we're pressing buttons to change the camera more often. So I'm going to have another look at it. Paul Hayward says, I would eat that box of Maltesers tomorrow if I were you. Look, if we're all honest, we all know who those Maltesers are for, don't we? Yeah? And it's not me.
Okay, Paul, we know who the Maltesers are for, but we also know who eats them. And it's not the same person.
So what are you saying that you bought the Noble Pro? You bought the Maltesers for me, but you're eating them. Right, we are closing in on 6 kilometres done, so 4 to go of our community run. Legs are kind of now just kind of putting up with the fact that they're running at this pace. I'm not going any faster than this, and they've just kind of accepted that that's what we're doing this evening. So we're all right at the moment. We're surviving, but I'm not going any faster than this. Save that for the threshold training tomorrow, the threshold testing tomorrow. If I'd realised how trashed my legs would be, I probably wouldn't have agreed to do the testing tomorrow. But I'm hoping that by tomorrow I'll be all right. Yeah, I've got to go back on Thursday as well. So it's basically 2 sessions this week. Tomorrow afternoon and then Thursday morning. Oh yes, Clive, can you lead the Film My Run 500 on Thursday morning? Is that possible? Don't worry if you can't. But yeah, because I won't be here for the Film My Run 500 on Thursday morning. If you can do that, that would be awesome. Oh yeah, okay, thank you for that, Clive. Yeah, Ben Nevis Ultra entries on Wednesday. If you want to come and join me and Clive to run up Ben Nevis in September, or is it October? September. If you want to come to Scotland and join Clive and myself at the Skyrunning weekend, it's not just the Ben Nevis Ultra. There's the Ring of Steel Sky Race. There's the Glencoe Skyline. And there's the VK as well, vertical kilometre. But Clive and myself, and possibly Leo Loughran, I don't know. Amy says no, thank you. We're going to run at Ben Nevis and then try and get back down the other side in time, this time. And also, if you want to do the 100-mile Spine Challenger race across the Pennines, then that is still open for entries as well. Jeff has just reminded us. Victoria has issued an ultimatum. It's the Spine or our marriage, so I won't be doing the Spine. Yeah, it's just too expensive for us. Really is. It's like the full Spine, 268 miles. It's like well over $1,000 to enter, and you've got all the equipment to buy as well. I just can't. There's no way I can justify it. Spine Challenger might be one day, but not yet. Sebastian's declined, has he? Oh dear. Right. No takers at the moment. Just you and me, Clive. Just you and me. Clive will be leading the Film My Run 500 on Thursday. Thank you, Clive. So if you're going to do the Film My Run 500, you can join me tomorrow, or you can join Clive on Thursday. All right, Jeff Partridge says, it's not over $1,000. Buy the van and Victoria may let you go. Right, look, yeah, if I could buy the van, I could afford to pay for the Spine, Jeff. Look, it's just not happening. And the number of times that you try and con Victoria into getting a van, or persuade Victoria that she needs a van.
Jeff is not conning me. He is just showing me the light and what I need. You just fail to see it.
Clive wants a van as well. Right, Bob. Hang on. Oh, Rob Mott says, have you talked about the Canadian death race? Why? What happened in the Canadian death race? what happened in the Canadian death race? Question mark. John Farrell says, I find watching much easier. Well, yeah, watching people run is easier than actually doing the running. Unless you're crewing as well, and Victoria would tell you this is much harder. Can you press mix 2 again, please? Yeah, so Victoria, Victoria is doing a 50-mile race soon. She's doing the South Downs Way 50. Her first 50-miler in May. Or was it April, sorry. And she was hoping that I would be able to crew her for that. But we've not long discovered that there is no crew allowed. So race rules are there's no crew. So she's going to have to do it on her own. I can stand at the side and cheer her, but I can't hand her anything. I can't give her any assistance. She's just got to do it all on her own. No, motivation, definitely. No insults. Paul Haywood says, a van could be your mobile shed quarters. Yes, very true. Okay, so Victoria's doing her first 50-miler in April, followed by Mark Mansueto doing his first 50-miler in May. That'll be good. We can compare results. Yeah, you don't need a crew for yeah, quite right. You don't need a crew for a 50-miler. Yeah, Victoria knows that. She knows that she can do it without crew. You did the Brecon Beacons without crew, didn't you?
But then there was legs in a day. How many miles was that? 50 miles? No crew allowed. Mr. Cousins was incredibly needy, requiring me to meet him every few miles just to cheer him by as he shuffled past me. I need him out on course. Yeah, just for revenge, I want Stephen driving from point to point, getting out the car, just so he knows what it's like. I don't care that he's not allowed to hand me anything. Jeff says that sounds like instant disqualification. Jeff, I was allowed to be out there. I just wasn't allowed to hand him anything. And there were loads of other needy runners. Had people doing exactly the same as me. The things you do for love. Or something. Oh, he's an absolute diva. And he also doesn't like it when I issue tough love. When he's in that dark, miserable place. And I'm kicking him up the backside, telling him to get on with it.
Not running. Paul Haywood says Stephen even needs crew when it. Well, he says Mr. C. Mr. C even needs crew when he's not running, like the other weekend. Nice porridge. Yeah, do you know what though? That weekend was like running the 100 miles. We were up for 40 hours or so. We were up for a long time, nearly 2 days, and I felt like I needed crew just to get me through all that stuff that we were doing. I'm still editing the video of all that live footage. I've got 34 hours worth of live footage that I'm currently going through, chopping out, all the dead space to try and get just the interesting bits. I'm going to try and condense it down to about an hour. So, I've still got a bit of work to do on it, but I am gradually sifting my way through most of that live footage. Right, we are well over 7k in. We've got coming up to 2.5k to go now of the combined community run through Makuri Islands, through I don't know if you've got any bits, Jet. Honestly, I don't think I've seen you in any bits so far. Maybe I did interview you during registration, didn't I? Where did we? Which first checkpoint? What, like Lizard? I didn't see him at Lizard. Oh, did we see you at Porthleven? Okay, I'll make sure that you're in. I promise you, I'll make sure that your bits are not cut off. Yeah. Mrs. P would be very annoyed if your bits got cut off. So I shall leave them. I shall leave them there. Clive and Paul Hayward says, I hope Clive and Jeff will feature. Clive definitely features earlier on, and at the end. Oh yes, and we interviewed both of them at the end of the run, didn't we? Didn't we? Oh no, we didn't. No, we didn't. No. Oh well, anyway, I will make sure that I see you guys on the video, and I'll keep you guys in. Don't worry about that. Victoria's suggesting doing a separate MHG edit. I don't know how much I got of Jason Mitchell though. Right, less than 2.5k to go now. About 10 minutes? Just a bit more than 10 minutes to go. 13 minutes, something. My legs haven't loosened. They're still tight, but they're kind of. I don't know what the word is. They're satisfied. They're content with going at this pace. It's not hurting anymore. Amy says her legs aren't working today. Right. You and me both, and now Victoria's saying her legs feel heavy, so we're all in the heavy-legged boat today. So running with us at the moment, we've got Clive Finnemore, Trev Wilson, Sebastian Vaught, Mark Mansueto, Paul Hayward, Yoko is there, Clive Stride is there as well. Yeah, Sebastian. So, bit of a decent little crowd around us. As we head into the last 10 minutes of the run. Just couldn't manage any more speed than this, guys. Quite often we do speed up a bit towards the end, or we'll do the first 3k at 9, then we'll speed up to 9.5, then we'll go to 10, and maybe even a little bit faster towards the end sometimes, but not today. I just can't do it today. Heart rate's looking good though. Heart rate is still in zone 1. 118 beats per minute. Victoria's up in zone 2, 125. And she's been the whole way in zone 2 today. But she did this pace on Saturday and she was all in zone 1 on Saturday, so you might just be a bit tired today, that's all. Clive's 130, heart rate, Sebastian's 122, and we've just hit 8k, with 2k to go. By the way, latest video up on the channel, on the YouTube Film My Run channel. If you haven't already seen it, it is my very quick edit of yesterday's race. So I did take the camera along with me yesterday. And I filmed just a little bit, not loads, just 5 minutes worth of footage. So that is now up on the channel. Didn't take me long to edit this morning. So I thought that I'd get that up nice and quick. There were so many videos just languishing, waiting to be edited, that when there's a quick one that can be done in an hour or two, it's good to get it up and done. So that one is up there now on the Film My Run YouTube channel. Mark Mansueto says he's at 131 BPM. He's a bit higher than yesterday. Thank you, Clive. Says nice little video. Thank you. A lot of people get quite picky and upset about their pace on Zwift. We get a lot of complaints on Zwift runners about why is my average pace terrible on Zwift compared to outside. And you know, there are a lot of little things about Zwift that mean you can't look at your average pace, you can't look at your distance and time and kind of equate it to outside, because you know, if you start running in the pen before a race, quite often that adds to your time and distance, and it'll bring down your average pace, your average speed. So you've got to always remember, I think, with Zwift, that it is a game, that it is just your training, and it's not the end of the world. It's not the be-all and end-all of your training, what your average pace is on Zwift. What matters really is the effort that you put in, and then what really matters is your race results outside. Because all this training indoors, all this fun that we're having running on Zwift is all to make us fitter and stronger for those outside runs that we do. And the other thing about Zwift is, you know, it's just got to be community. It's about enjoying your running, chatting with people who are like-minded, who from all over the world, and not being so overly concerned with split times and pace and distance, because you can't verify it. It's not accurate, or you know what is accuracy. But I know we talk a lot about heart rate and things like that, and it's all useful stuff. But just don't think of it as hard and fast, like that's what it is. You know, if your pace on Zwift says 6 minutes per kilometre, and you know that you can do 5 minutes per kilometre outdoors, there's nothing wrong with Zwift. There's nothing wrong with your running, and there's nothing wrong with your treadmill. It's just Zwift has its little foibles that we just have to accept. Kevin DeLuca is about to finish. So thanks, Kev. Another good lead from Kev. Thank you, buddy. We haven't seen Gina leading for a while, have we? Why hasn't Gina been leading for a while? Yoko says thank you to Kevin and Marcel. Stig has 500 metres to go. Well done, Stig. We've got 1,300 metres to go. Three times round a running track, basically. Oh, camera's gone blurred. Come on. Come back. Hello. There we are. That's better. Jeff Partridge says, see you tomorrow at some point. Yeah, most likely we'll see you tomorrow. Kev is off. Bye-bye, Kev. So I guess, is it Clive who has the beacon from when Kev finishes? It's either Clive or me, I can't remember who it is. Lee Ryby says, thanks so much for the shoe recommendation. I felt like I was cheating. No, listen, honestly, Vaporflies, those Nike Vaporflies are legal running shoes. Anyone who tells you you're cheating if you wear them, they just tell them to shut up. Everybody wears them when they're running. You know, when you run a fast, flat road marathon these days, you look at all the top runners, they're all in some kind of carbon-plated shoe. And mostly it's Nike Vaporflies or Alphaflies. They're perfectly legal. Certainly not, don't run on the trails in them, for goodness sake. They're not a trail shoe. And also, yeah, you do have to be a bit careful of your running style when you wear them. So when I first bought them, I got injured because I wasn't running correctly in them, and I had to alter my running style slightly to use them. Because, yeah, they're not for heel strikers, so you need to make sure that you are running on your midfoot or your forefoot in Vaporflies, because if you run on your heel too much, you risk getting injured, which is what happened to me. 9 kilometres done, 1 to go, guys. We'll be done in 6 minutes. Talking about carbon-plated shoes, Hoka have got a new one coming out soon. The Carbon X3 is out in the not-too-distant future, and also the Hoka Speedgoat 5s are out very soon as well. Not a carbon-plated shoe, I hasten to add. Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for the chat on Facebook and YouTube. I think you'll all agree Victoria's done a very good job on the My Run, with some responsibility for buttons and microphone.
Thank you very much. Was I responsible with the buttons? If I wasn't, yeah, I'll hear about it when this live stream has finished. Oh, Stig is being kicked off the treadmill. Good night. Sorry, Mark Mansueto is reminding us, sorry, what is it? There's a Hoka trail shoe coming out with a carbon plate. Interesting. Texton X or something like that. I've not seen that. Will that be the first carbon-plated trail shoe? Mark, we need those for our 50s. Thank you, Amy, and well done. Half a kilometre to go. Oh, apparently they're due out in May. Well, that might be alright for you, Mark, but it's too late for me. Thank you, Trev. I recently bought some New Balance trail shoes, and I'm now wishing that I held out for the new Speedgoats. So although New Balance ones are really comfortable. They're just not cushioned enough for a long run. Jamie Caesar, glad that Victoria finally got some screen time. Thank you, Jamie. It's been very, very exciting today for me. Maybe that's why my heart rate has been in zone 2 tonight. Why are you sprinting to the end, Stephen? You have nothing to prove. You just fancied overtaking the missus. Well, I don't care. Sticking at this pace. But it certainly is good to see that the Noble Pro has kept its connection with my iPhone tonight.
Solid all the way.
Solid all the way through. We've got 200 metres left. Well done, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, mate. You all.
I'll see you for hellish intervals tomorrow night. No pain, no gain.
We've abolished that saying now.
Have you? So intervals are out.
No, intervals still exist, but
The pain of intervals you do get. Thank you, Kevin.
Hello, Stig. Stig, turned out my son wasn't actually ready to run. He just kicked me off for nothing. Kicked you off the treadmill for nothing. Rubbish. Anyway, he's done with his 10k. Well done, Stig. Atana 007, that's okay, Victoria, because you're the boss and the controller. Too right she is. We all know that. I think everybody who watches this stream knows he's in charge of this relationship. Thank you, Paul Hayward. Cheers, Jamie. Cheers, Trev. Cheers, Amy. Cheers, Lee Ryby. Yoko says, thank you very much for your stream. Helps a lot when connecting is not good. Thank you, Yoko. See you tomorrow, hopefully, guys. And we are done, finished, and out of here. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you all. I can go eat Maltesers. Which button am I pressing?
Go back.
Right, thanks all and well done. Hopefully see you tomorrow evening. Bye.